Okay, let's get this going. This is Lauren Burke. This is Lauren Live. So yet again, we have an example. We have a situation. We have a moment where Donald Trump, for whatever reason, just has to be letting us know that he's a racist. Why that is anybody's guess, but I think it is part branding, part reality, and a big part of distraction. He likes distraction. You get these moments where the Epstein files are out. Obviously, the economic news and the political news for him is not very good. And right at that moment is exactly when something like this happens, which happened early in the morning. Interestingly enough, a friend of mine was telling me a story about how he happened to be up at 2 in the morning and literally looked at the screen at this video and said to himself, I can't believe that that's actually real. Now, think about that in the context of Donald Trump. So much has happened that is intentionally outrageous, intentionally distracting, completely intended to get everybody thinking about something else. But more than that, it is a way of dehumanizing a level of hatred towards certain groups in this country, certainly immigrants, black folks, which of course has been a 400-year project. And this is something that Trump wants to build his brand on. He wants people to know that he thinks this way. He wants people to know that he feels this way. It's not hidden. He's not trying to hide it. In fact, on the contrary, he wants these feelings as public as possible. I got to tell you, you'll notice that online, I mean, it's not certainly not scientific, but it is interesting to see the lack of reaction in certain quarters in the black community. To me, what it means is that we have long ago figured out what this game is, and we're not playing in it. We've decided to check out because we know who we are. We don't care what you say, and we're doing our thing. And every little stupid idiot thing that you do that's racist is number one, not surprising to the community, and number two, not even worth wasting our time to respond to. That's part of the reason I think there's a very sort of lackadaisical thing going on in the background. But I'm going to play some of this, not because I want to duplicate this, but because it is really extraordinarily racist. Interestingly enough, Boyce Watkins has the entire video, which is 54 seconds, a little bit under a minute, by the same individuals, people, company, whatever the hell it is, that did the No Kings video, which of course Trump got all in his feelings when we had that massive, massive, massive No Kings rally here in the United States. And he flipped out and then put up a video that was extraordinarily crazy. The 25th Amendment, and calls for impeachment, I think came not too far from that moment. There have been a few members of Congress who have been trying to impeach the president from day one, but there were certain moments where they were trying to make the argument this guy is unhinged, and that was one of the moments, and this may be one of the other moments. After I go over this, I'll go over a few of the online reactions, which have been quite interesting to say the least. I cut the sound off here because it does play a song that is copyrighted, and I don't want YouTube coming after me. Yeah, another hit here at Harry Sisson. You can see that, Hakeem Jeffries and Harry Sisson are featured in a lot of these little scenes. They can't stand Harry Sisson, of course, because he's effective. And of course, Whoopi Goldberg. That's interesting. I think two things that are going on here, kind of obvious, but should be stated. One is that you notice how Trump and a lot of these things, one of the things that they're trying to do is, sort of create a world of lack of seriousness. They're trying to create a world where nothing is serious, everything is a game, everything is a joke. It doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters because everything's a game and everything's a joke. Think about that. Think about what they're trying to do with that. So when something serious does come off, they're waving it off. It's a cartoon. It's a joke. Ha ha ha. Everything's funny. It's a big laugh riot. I actually think, like I said, this all started back when Barack Obama became president, 2008. And in 2010, we ended up with Breitbart and all these little fake left wing media companies because, frankly, they couldn't deal with the reality of the situation. The reality situation was the Obama coalition, which was a diverse coalition of voters. It was black voters, it was white voters, it was Latino voters joining together to put Barack Obama in elected office, and they couldn't stand it. They are the base of the Republican Party right now, which is always leveraging race. And that's how you end up with people like Steve Bannon and Steve Miller sitting around talking endlessly about identity. Racial identity is all they talk about. I mean, Stephen Miller, that's all he talks about. They are absolutely obsessed on the topic. Absolutely obsessed on the topic of racial identity. And what's so ironic about it is they're trying to tell everybody else that we're the ones, that the people who are in the groups that they're obsessed about, we're the ones that are obsessed. Oh, you guys talk about race all the time. You're talking about race all the time. They're talking about race all the time. Who the hell is taking down the placard that the National Park Service put up at the Medgar Evers house? Who's even thinking about that? Why would anybody even be thinking to do that? Why would that even come to somebody's mind that you have to take the part of the placard down where it mentions racism? And Medgar Evers, by the way, was a civil rights leader, a head of the NAACP, who was shot in the back by Byron de la Beckwith, a racist, shot dead in his driveway. And the house where this happened at is still standing. And there's, of course, the National Park Service. It is a National Park Service, a national monument. And the Trump administration decides to get all up in its feelings and change the wording on the thing to eliminate references to racism. Are you kidding me? The reason that he was murdered was racism. So part of the game here is let's erase history, let's change history, let's ignore history. Again, you need an apparatus to do that, and the media is that apparatus. So again, what happened was Obama gets elected, and all of a sudden there was, oh my God, we're creating all these media organizations. So you ended up with the Daily Caller and the ooh, we've got the Daily Signal and this and that, and then they get in there and create their own reality. Fox News, of course, was the ultimate example, and they get sued and have to pay out like $1 billion in the Dominion voting machines lawsuit because they're liars. They're lying. And the reason they're lying is they can't handle the reality. And the reality is we live in a competitive world where anyone in any ethnic group can triumph. That is actually the dream of the United States. That was the whole point of the United States. But the reality of it is people like Stephen Miller don't actually want that. They want only certain people to win. And when people out of the group that he wants to win, he gets very insecure, as does Donald Trump. And it's really weird. One of the strangest aspects of it all, these people are wealthy. They have money, they have influence, they have houses, they have places in Florida, places in New York, they have golf courses, they have cars, they have trophy wives. They have everything that you would think somebody would want if you made them, if you said to somebody, hey, make a list of all the things you want. They've got it all, and still they're whining and complaining. Still they're bitching and moaning. Still they're trying to identify some group that they can vilify. I don't get that. When do you finally get to happy? When are you ever happy? When is Donald Trump ever actually happy? Somebody should ask him that in an interview. I mean, Jonathan Swan did one of the best interviews of Donald Trump ever. Ask that question. What makes this guy happy? Because this is like worse than any cancer that you can ever have. Racism is a hell of a drug, and they need it. They need to hang on to it to feel good about themselves. It is pathetic. It's laughable. It's childish. It's beyond narcissistic. It's beyond all the things that we've already talked about and heard about. It's sad. It's pathetic. You had to have somebody make a video of yourself walking around like a lion in a jungle. And of course, I know that Boyce Watkins in that post is making the point that, well, I was less upset when I saw the rest of the video because all these other people in the video. No, baby, you got that wrong, Boyce. You got that wrong. The video starts with the Obamas. And really, to keep it real, Most people might not even know who all these other people were. I mean, I know who Hillary Clinton's in there, but this thing started with the Obamas as apes, as savages, as literally as monsters. One of the oldest tropes in the world when it comes to the lexicon of racism in the United States. Come on, man. Stop it. That's where the video starts. You think the video accidentally started with the Obamas? Trump hates the Obama. The reason that Trump is president is Barack Obama. If anybody needs that story, I'll tell you real quick. It was the correspondence dinner, the White House correspondence dinner, I believe in 2015. It's probably 2014 or 2015. Obama gets up there, makes a joke. Homeboy Donald Trump gets in his feelings. And next thing you know, he's running for president. He couldn't take the fact that you had a black president of the United States standing up there on that stage, made a joke. He couldn't handle it. Next thing you know, this guy was running for president. And out of his mouth, by the way, at Trump Tower when he announced, he did a whole slur, a whole thing against Mexican Americans and Mexican immigrants. I mean, that was what he launched with. You knew what you were dealing with. You knew you were dealing with a deeply damaged person who was obsessed with race. And by the way, one of the most diverse cities in the world, New York. It is crazy to me. I mean, at least it was somebody who was from a place where there was no minorities, no black people. You'd say, well, he just doesn't know people. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know that you could say that about Donald Trump, although he grew up in a lily white situation, private school, although Queens is not, again, Queens is diverse. The section of Queens he was in wasn't that diverse, but Queens itself is diverse. But the point is, this guy is obsessed with race. He's obsessed with Barack Obama. He's obsessed with being a racist, and he wants everyone to know it. I think that's the part of it that is most interesting to me. This is the brand of Donald Trump. This is the purpose. This is the mission. This is mission statement. I mean, unbelievable. But I just want to say it again. I mean, I can't speak for 40 million black people. I certainly can speak for myself. My reaction to this is always the same. Okay, man, take your best shot. You ain't new to us. We're not sitting here going, oh my God, there's racism. What are we gonna do? Nobody is doing. I can't. I mean, I should speak for everybody else, but I just say to myself, I'm never doing that. I'm never looking at these racist moments and going, wow, I can't believe that happened. Just nobody black has been here if you're over the age of 25, you're probably not doing that. I don't know who he's trying to impress, but I can assure you that there's a lot of people not only unimpressed but kind of bored. This is the best you got. This is the best you can do. Some idiot, stupid ass juvenile cartoon that you made some idiot AI company make. And then you threw that out there and you think you're going to scare us, a group of people that was kidnapped from another continent and brought over here and everything was taken away from them and they were able to elect the first black president of the United States less than 300 years later. So, I mean, stop it, man. We survived all of that. We're going to be able to survive your little cartoon. That's really just the reality of it. I mean, this is not even, this is just not in the realm of something that is a threat. It's just stupid more than anything else. It's pathetic. It's just pathetic. And for all of you out there, I tell you, spotlight on the black Republicans right now. Spotlight on John James. Spotlight on Byron Donalds, who's running for governor. These guys are running for governor in these states, right? He's running for governor in Florida. Spotlight on, I forget the dude's name. He's running the primary in Texas in the Republican primary. He's actually, it's funny, I've talked to some of these guys. They're actually, you talk to them, they're nice guys, they talk, they're polite, whatever. You guys are getting played. You're getting played. First of all, none of them could get into the administration and get a job. That was the first tip off. Okay, Wesley Hunt. Thanks, Mike. Wesley Hunt is running, every now I'll say a few words to him on Capitol Hill. Wesley Hunt's running in Texas in the Republican primary. And come on, guys. Really? Y'all are a part of a party whose leader does this and you don't say anything, and I'll get to Tim Scott in a second. You don't say to yourself, "What am I doing in a group of people? What am I doing in a club whose leader, not one of the members of the club, whose leader is this racist and does this to vilify intentionally Black people, minorities, certainly, of course, immigrants from Mexico, but not just Mexico, right? They're going after Haitians. They're going after anybody who's on the African continent. I mean, give me a break with this. And you are a member of the card carrying member of the Republican Party, and you don't say to yourself, I'm an idiot. What am I doing associating with these people? I mean, just on a basic level. I mean, I know a fair amount of Black Republicans, and most of them are in it because of the money. They're in it because of the money. And the money is great because you become this rare bird in a group of people. There's not that many Black folks around, right? And so you stand out and you're able to look cool and all this other stuff. Okay, great. I get it. It's cool. I mean, I know most of my Black Republican friends are well to do because of that. If you're Black in the Democratic Party, you're just one of a million people who's Black in the Democratic Party. You don't stand out because most Black folks are in the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party, quite frankly, does tend to take for granted Black people, not just Black elected officials, Black voters. So I get the play, but damn, where's your self-respect? Where is your, basic self-respect when it comes to something like this? It's just, and this is not the first time this has happened. This is just the most extreme example, probably the most. I mean, we can get into subject matter with regard to the president's mental acuity. Why are you up in the middle of the night? Why is this coming out now? Maybe it's not him doing it. I don't know. We don't really know. We don't have a confirmation on whether or not it is in fact Donald Trump that's sending this stuff out, but it's coming out of his account on Truth Social. They're not doing it out of the White House account. Lord knows they're not shy about putting garbage out of the White House account. So come on, man. But the Black Republicans in this moment, that's who I put a spotlight on and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they are stone silent, with the exception, of one, which was be Tim Scott, who surprised me. I got to say this. This actually surprised me. This morning. So Tim Scott, shortly after this thing hits, shortly after, I shouldn't say shortly after, it hit in the middle of the night. So it was the morning when everybody woke up and saw this racism. Okay. Tim Scott praying it was fake because it is the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. Now that's saying something, folks. Okay. I mean, if this is the most racist thing you've seen, woo, the president should remove it. Now, for Tim Scott to write that, that's kind of a big deal. But I will say about him, he's always been on that cusp of, I don't know if these people can be trusted. I remember when Tim Scott skipped the, must have been the 2020. No, it was the 2016 convention in Cleveland where I went to the Republican convention. And he skipped that. He just skipped it. I think he felt uncomfortable. You know, he just he just decided not to come. I forget, it was some little spat that happened right before that. Anyway, Tim Scott decides I'm out. And I want you wonder what would he have done had the thing not come down. But it came down a few hours later, which is surprising to me because typically what this White House does is they double down. Okay. They already sent their dumbass White House spokesperson, Caroline Levitt, out there to defend it. Of course, she defends it because she would defend anything that this president. I mean, I get it. Yay, Carolyn, I get it. You got a job. I'm going to go all in. Right? I'm gone this far. I guess I'm going to go all in. We're in power. We're sitting in the White House. We're the most powerful people in the world, whatever. I'm just going to go for it, right? That's pretty much what I think Carolyn Levitt's a deal with the devil. That's what it is. Problem is, this pendulum in politics always swings back. But anyway, to get back to Tim Scott, I was surprised that he, hey, got to give it to him because I'm telling you what, ain't nobody else saying. There's not that many people in the Republican Party out here saying stuff about this. And now that he's taking it down, they're like, let's just shut up and remain. Typically, their protocol is when something like this happens, and they're flat cold busted with the knowledge that this guy just put up one of the most racist things ever. You know, you couldn't even say, I mean, you can't compare other eras because, of course, we did not have this type of social media in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s. But, you go back to Woodrow Wilson. You go back to some of the most racist presidents of the United States, and it is not even these people, it's not even in the stratosphere. At least then in that era, people were saying to themselves, well, you know what? I gotta hide my racism. I can't like let people know that I'm this racist. Not only is he not doing that, which is patently obvious after the 10 years of dealing with Donald Trump, it's a little bit more than that. It's Trump wants you to know. He wants you to know that this is how he thinks, this is how he feels, and this is what this is. Like that's a different thing. This is the identity, the branding of MAGA and Donald Trump. That's deep, man. You're not playing around the edges now. You're trying to get people. And so of course, not only is it a distraction, but what this is really about, of course, is leveraging and attracting certain voters to support the party for reasons of grievance, right? Reasons of grievance is an interesting one because the population of the United States, as I'm sure Trump knows from listening to Stephen Miller and Elon Musk, the white population's going down and all the other populations are going up, and there's a paranoia there. There's an absolute paranoia there. Okay. I leave you with Brian Krasenstein, probably one of the most impressive posts of the situation here. He goes through a bunch of stuff here. It wasn't just that he just put something up and said, "Okay, I'll just put something up." By the way, I'd love to know where all the civil rights groups are. I mean, they're stone quiet. I mean, if there was any moment where you could swing for the fence, well, this is it. Now, there's plenty of moments. The Medgar Evers one to me is pretty damn big. Ben Crump is out there. I mean, immediately. What are you waiting for? This is the moment. This is the time. If you're not saying it now, then you are missing it. You are absolutely missing the whole boat if you're not saying it now. So at any rate, this is Brian Krasenstein. He and his brother are very prominent on social media. And he writes, and again, doesn't take too much effort to write this stuff. I'm not sure why it's all that complicated. Dehumanizing Black people during Black History Month by portraying the Obamas as apes is one of the oldest, most explicit racist tropes in history, used to justify slavery, segregation, and violence. Over and over again, portraying targeted groups as animals is one of the oldest, most reliable tools of dehumanization used by dictators and violent movements. Then he goes through the violent movements. Adolf Hitler, Nazi Germany, they routinely referred to Jews as rats, as lice. You can see this in posters in Nazi Germany. They were always trying to depict Jewish people as animals. You think this stuff is coincidental? Hell no, it's not. We know that the people who are running Trump's administration are studying history. We knew that from Project 2025. They're looking at certain history and they're trying to dismantle it, particularly as it pertains to immigration, particularly as it pertains to the civil rights movement, the Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act. They're studying this stuff and they're trying to dismantle it. They're trying to figure out ways to dismantle it. They're about to dismantle the Voting Rights Act this year with the Calais versus Louisiana case. It is going to happen. Okay, that's as sure as a bet as saying the days of the week. They study history and they've studied propaganda. And if you don't believe that, go look at the posters that the Trump Labor Department is putting out. They're not fooling anybody. I mean, everybody knows people who have studied any bit of history know what they're doing. Rwanda genocide in 1994, the Tutsis labeled the Hutus as cockroaches. That's right. Cockroach. It referred to them as cockroaches. I mean, here we go. I don't know whether, Trump certainly doesn't strike me as deeply intelligent, but any dummy could figure out that if you dehumanize people enough, you can do anything you want to them. Everybody understands that. But good for Brian Krasenstein for spelling out a few things that seems to me anybody could message. Again, where's the Democratic Party right now? Civil rights groups, I don't know. Maybe they go back to what I was saying earlier. You're so used to it. Not just today, but I'm talking about the last 200 years. It's like, that again, I mean, Lord knows if you're black and you had to react to every single racist thing that happened, you spend your entire day reacting to stuff. Who has the time? Who has the time? I mean, you become less interested in trying to change the views of idiots when you realize that, number one, it's a waste of time. And number two, they're not going to change. Trump is who he is, and that is a fact. Um, oh my God. I mean, I just, I just find it to be, again, the 25th Amendment. It is amazing, but there it is. And there'll be more to come. You can absolutely bet. There'll be more to come. Trump loves the distraction. He loves everybody paying attention to him, even when it's something negative. He loves everybody paying attention to him. He doesn't care if it's negative. What does he care? He's like, okay, I can sit up here, say whatever I want, and I'm branding a certain thing to Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, who he's absolutely obsessed with. Absolutely obsessed with, and I think jealous of. He's living rent-free. I mean, I'm sorry. Trump has Barack Obama is living rent-free in Donald Trump's head. It's so obvious. Everybody knows that, but wow, man, really? The level of emotional, I guess you could say, just the juvenile nature of it all is stunning, is amazing. And it had to be mentioned. Yes, I'm doing a live on it, and I might do a live with Stacey Brown on it, might talk about it later. I doubt it. I mean, again, do you really want to waste your life talking about this nonsense? We got to ask ourselves that question, but then again, it's got to be called out. Got to be called out. Can't just allow these types of things to happen and say nothing? No way. No way. Michael, once again, Mike, thanks for joining. Please hit the like button, everybody out there. I think that the next video, let me think. There was something, I've got to do a podcast on the Virginia maps, which that's a completely different topic, but I don't know. The next topic will probably be either the Washington Post and what's going on at the Post. I was outside the building yesterday for a demonstration. The Guthrie situation continues, and it's very sad. Might be doing a video on the Tepe murders in Columbus, Ohio, which is an extremely sad case. But at any rate, had to stop to do this because, wow. I mean, can you say pathetic without saying pathetic? This is wild. It's sad to watch. I mean, even on the level of just anything relative, we talk politics, obviously everybody's always talking about Donald Trump, this and that, but man, it hits a new low every single time, and it is really, really stunning to see that nobody in that White House is saying to themselves, wait a minute, we can't allow this to go on. We can't, we can be outrageous in this and that, and of course they have been. But you start to get to a point where you jump the shark with some of this. Like, you get to a point where you look so ridiculous and so crazy that and certainly it's showing up in the opinion polls on Donald Trump. His polling is terrible, underwater with like every group. I think only Republicans, and maybe even that group, he's underwater, but he's way underwater with almost everybody. If an election was held today, he'd certainly lose. There's no doubt about that. I think they're well aware of that. I mean, I think they're well aware that, you look crazy, and in continuing to look crazy. The question is, what do you do about it? And Republicans have this posture of doing absolutely nothing. That's understood. But this particular incident, I mean, again, the obsession with the Obamas, he can't keep his mind off them. I guess that's no surprise, but I'll be back soon. This is Lauren Burke. This was Lauren Live. Thanks, Mike, for joining, and I'll see you soon.
Elevator somewhere. What's going on? Thank you. Are you watching now?
Yeah. No, I was watching when I left, but it's excellent. I love love it. I love the traffic's blowing up. You were in Brooklyn last night. Where?
I was in Bushwick.
Okay, my grandmother's house is in Crown Heights.
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw you, I was trying to look at what the pizza place was to see where.
As soon as we got there, someone recognized the pizza place. They're like, we gotta get out of here. Someone had
get out. It was great.
blown up our spot.
This show was freaking fantastic.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it, man. Love it.